Rugrats at the movies. Arr! Tommy Pickles stopped in his tracks and stared at the TV. Just when you thought it was safe to visit New York, the TV voice announced, as a bright green dinosaur filled the screen. Here comes Reptar to a theater near you. Tommy stared as a huge monster knocked over some fake-looking buildings, and loud music blared. Reptar, he repeated in awe. Tommy reached out his hand to touch the screen. Just then his father Stu reached down and picked him up. Reptar, Tommy said desperately. Yep, blah blah, said his father, not understanding. Tommy began to cry. Aw, cheer up, Tommy, said Stu. Tonight we're all going to the West Side Octoplex to see your first movie. Later that night, the Rugrats and their parents stood in line at the huge Octoplex. The Gummy Bears in the Land Without Smiles, Grandpa read. Let's go bowling instead. Come on, Pop, replied Stu. Tommy will love it. As the line of people moved into the theater, Tommy spotted another poster. It was a huge green monster he'd seen on the TV. Reptar, he cried. The theater was packed with screaming children and their parents. Chucky, Phil, Lil, Tommy said to his friends. I gotta tell you about this great thing I saw. Reptar. It's a big dinosaur. It knocked over some buildings and stuff. And he's here, somewhere. We have to find him. The lights dimmed and corny music began to play. On the screen, the Dummy Bears pounced around on fluffy clouds. But there was big trouble in Dummy Bear Land. Someone's stolen the magic list, wailed the little Princess Bear. And without our list of sad little boys and girls, this will become the Land Without Smiles. Land without brains is more like it, snorted Grandpa. Shh, said all the grown-ups. They didn't want to miss a word. But the Rugrats had seen enough of the Dummy Bears, too. Come on, said Tommy. Let's go find Reptar. Tommy, Phil, Lil, and Chucky all made their way to the exit door. Maybe Reptar's in here, said Chucky, pointing to an open theater door. But no such luck. I hate kissing movies, said Lil. Nothing ever happens. Hey, down in front, someone shouted. An usher started shining his bright flashlight around the theater. The Rugrats ran out fast. Pop, pop, pop. What was that noise? Could it be Reptar? Tommy, Chucky, and the twins followed the popping sound straight to the refreshment stand. Beanie Birds are by far the coolest, said one of the guys working behind the counter. He was holding up a picture of a skateboard. You lie! Beanies are bogus! Grody birds rule, said the other, as the Rugrats walked past. The two guys never saw them. Reptar? Tommy jumped into the popcorn machine. He threw handfuls of popcorn all over the floor. Where was he? Phil and Lil found the soda machine and started pushing all the buttons. Grape and orange soda spilled all over the floor. Then they moved on to the ketchup and mustard dispensers. It was fun seeing how fast they could squirt stuff. Chucky stood in the corner eating chocolate bar after chocolate bar. Then Chucky wandered off and discovered a staircase. At the top was a flickering light. Hey, Tommy, he shouted. Come look at this. I think I found Reptar. Following the flickering light, the babies made their way to the projection room. The man running the machines was reading a comic book and didn't notice them at first. There was lots of projectors set up in front of tiny windows. Giant spinning reels of film filled the room. Spaghetti merry-go-rounds, cried Tommy. At last, the baby spotted him, the snarling green monster. Reptar! Tommy shouted. All four babies squeezed in for a better look. Phil accidentally stepped on one of the giant reels of film. Whoa! Phil yelled as he went round and round the reel. Hey, let me try, cried Lil. Soon all the babies were spinning around wildly. Whee! Cried Chucky. Finally, the guy in the projection room looked up from his comic book. Hey! He let out a blood-curdling scream. The room was a mess. Film was everywhere. Oh no! The guy yelled. The dummy bear film is going to jam. As he struggled to clean up, the babies crawled out the door. They met up with Grandpa at the refreshment stand. I'd rather rot my teeth than sit in there and rot my brain, he said. Guess you little sprouts had enough of that brainless bear adventure too, eh? Well, I got us some candy anyway. They all returned to the theater. When they got back, the Dummy Bear movie was almost over. I know you're all wondering if little Shauna is going to pull through, a doctor on the screen was saying. Well, it looks like little Shauna. His voice slowed down and the film came to a grinding halt. Then it melted away. Aww, groaned the audience. Click! The lights came back on. The babies were sitting quietly on the carpet, just like they were when the movie began. Everyone was upset about the disaster at the Octoplex. This just isn't fair, Stu said on the ride home. I just wish I knew if little Shauna pulls through. Well, said Dee Dee, looking back at Tommy and smiling, at least we know Tommy can sit through a whole movie without making any trouble.